Welcome to another ABS online video. Let's go and find out what we're going to learn today. Let's look back in week 22. It's a super review week. Let's look at what we looked at. Looking back. We had two main topics over the last 6 weeks. Think about it. What were they? Can you remember? Well, that's what a review is for, isn't it? Review, remind, refresh. For 3 weeks, we stayed in the hospital. That wasn't nice. But I say it 100 times, doctors and nurses, amazing. The most recent 3 weeks have been in 3 different continents. Really big areas around the world. Where were they? Okay, let's get going. What did we start with? We started by finding out what it's like to have a broken leg. Ow! Well, I can tell you that straight away. It's not nice. Now, how could it happen? Many different ways. But there's one of them. A sporting injury. There are 3 types of broken leg. There is a broken leg. Well, that's nice and easy. But then one of them's not too bad and the other one's really bad. Oh dear. This first was called a stress fracture. Now, very often a fracture is just like a crack. A stress fracture happens after a lot of small impacts. This athlete here, well, he's doing the hurdles, and every few seconds he jumps up and a lot of pressure and impact goes onto one of his legs. That can lead to a stress fracture. Now, we used the future perfect tense, didn't we? You will have performed the same impact many times before you notice the pain. Oh, yes. And usually the pain grows slowly. So, if you're smart, you will do something about it as soon as you do notice the pain. You will have noticed pain and swelling before visiting the doctor. So there we have the future perfect tense. Will, have, and then verb number 3. Okay, and usually we do need a time event as well. Here we've got before you notice the pain and before visiting the doctor. So how is it treated? The main thing is to obviously stop doing the repetitive impact. So just rest for a few weeks and the bone will heal itself. That's not a big problem. Maybe boring. Okay, a broken leg. A broken leg is pretty much what it sounds like. We need the doctor. We can't walk. The doctor will put the broken leg into a cast. And there you have it. Broken leg is a broken leg. But OMG. Yes, the third and final one. By far the worst situation is a compound fracture. Ow. That's a really, really, really big ow. You will have received a huge impact in order to sustain a compound fracture. Your bones are very strong, so to have such a terrible break needs a very big impact. Okay, then we got poisoned. Oh dear. What is poison? Well, we do usually see poison as being a liquid in a scary bottle. That's not always the case. A poison is a substance that can cause harm to any organ or tissue in your body. Okay, so it can be any substance. It can be gas, liquid or solid. But it's going to cause you harm somewhere. That's a very broad term then, isn't it? What can you do? Sip water or milk before getting to the hospital. Milk is usually really good because it seems to dilute and sometimes break down many poisons. You will have damaged your throat as the poison goes down, so do not try to vomit. It may cause damage on the way up. That is bad, and then bad again. The diagnosis is extensive. Wow. So, diagnosis. Diagnosis is how the doctor finds out what the problem is. Okay, he's going to ask a lot of questions, isn't he? And do some tests before he really understands what is happening. Before reaching a decision, the doctor will have found out as much as possible. He needs to know time. He needs to know when you had the poison. He needs to know if you know what the poison is. You will get well. Well, we hope so. You will have endured so much stress before you are well again. But there's an amazing person. You should always trust the great doctors and nurses. They are amazing. All day, every day, they are there to help and comfort. What a great job. And once more. Unfortunately, we had to return to the hospital once more. What was it for? Our third and final visit to the hospital. This one could be a minor problem, but we do still need to understand it. Now I said there could be a minor problem. That means it could be a major problem. A bump on the head. There might be initial pain, but we had to look at the possible long-lasting effects. Sometimes you have a bump on the head now, but your brain is very delicate. You might have a problem in hours, or maybe even days into the future. After a bump to the head, you can suffer concussion. It's a good word, very important word. Concussion. That sounds bad. Usually, it is not life-threatening. Again, we're saying usually. Diligent observation of the patient is vital. Yeah, we had some really great vocabulary this week. Diligent observation. That means to watch carefully, but actually really carefully. Diligent means very, very carefully. Observation, watch. What are the signs of concussion? Some signs are memory loss, patient appears dazed, patient moves clumsily, patient loses consciousness. Consciousness is the state of being awake and aware of what is around you. So if you lose consciousness, well, you're not awake. You don't know what's happening. If you lose consciousness, that is the sign of a big problem. Now, we must stay safe, of course. Thankfully, concussion is usually mild, but every bump to the head needs to be taken seriously. Right, no more visits to the hospital. Great! What was our next main topic? We flew off to Asia. We had a look at 3 different continents. Asia is the biggest, most populated and most diverse continent in the world. We just got a small idea how diverse it is. East to west, north to south, so many different people. We had numbers, didn't we? Our first numbers. They were big. Prepare for some huge numbers. So how big is Asia? It's big. It really is. So, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Some of these big numbers we have to think about. Oh, there it is in kilometres. Right. Are there many people? Right. This is going to be another big number. That is a big yes. The most populous country is China with right. Now, that's really difficult. Let's see. The 10th number. That means it's a billion. So, 1 billion. 439,323,776 people. I'm sure in the time it took to say that number, it's gone up. Oh, there we go. Well, how do we say it? We look at how many numbers there are. There are 10 numbers. The 10th number is a billion. Whew. Right, let's look at the different people. Here are the Pashtun people of Pakistan. I think they have the most beautiful eyes in the world. Now, compare them with the people of West Papua in Indonesia. Just about everything is different. A very diverse range of people in Asia. Then it was Europe, much smaller. For some reason, it is a great place. Okay, that might give you an idea why it is a great place. Now, sometimes great means very, very good. Sometimes great just means really powerful. Many wars have both created and destroyed some great empires. Some of the greatest empires the world has ever seen have been in Europe. We added a point to our numbers. So in Asia we had big numbers. In Europe, we made it a little bit easier to say them. Some big numbers can be written in an easier way. Great. Okay, now that's 28,500,000. It can be written as 28.5 million. That makes it much easier. Easier to write and easier to say. It's still a big number. We can also round a number up or down. So, oh dear, okay, let's think. 742,452,000 could be said as almost 750 million or over 740 million. Great! Now, if we use the words almost and over, that means it's not an exact number, but it's close. Money. Money is where Europe's strength really lies. People in the tiny state of Monaco have an average annual income of $183,244. Now, you convert that into your own money. That is a big number anywhere in the world. They are rich. History. Europe has had so many great empires throughout history. This means that there have been many wars and invasions. These, in turn, mean that countries' borders have changed often. Almost every decade there have been changes to borders. Even the very big and important countries have had borders that have changed. Now let's have some fun facts. If you reach the age of 100 in the UK, you have a special surprise. You get a birthday card from the King or Queen. Wow, thank you very much, Your Majesty. Then we move to Oceania. Now, I'm sure before we looked at Oceania, I'm sure you didn't all know where it was. Oceania consists of Australia, New Zealand, and many island nations across the Pacific Ocean. That map gives you just a little bit of an idea of how spread out these nations are. So big? yet so small. How was that possible? That can't be right. You cannot have something that is big and small at the same time. The ocean part is 85 million square kilometres. Now that's big. Bigger than any country. Goodness, wow. It's bigger than any ocean as well. It's the Pacific Ocean. The land area is only 8.5 million square kilometres, and 90% of that is Australia. So if we take away Australia and the ocean, you've got almost, well, nothing. But it's not nothing if you live there. Not only is it your home, but it is probably the most beautiful place in the world. Most nations are small, very small. Nauru is the smallest nation in Oceania. It is just 21 square kilometres. That is really tiny. But it isn't all wonderful. We said that Oceania really did have some incredible, beautiful places. Sadly, we see environmental damage all over the world, but in Oceania, the problems are big and possibly irreversible. Possibly, probably, almost certainly, we can't stop this damage. The coral, beautiful, beautiful coral reef is dying. As water warms, the corals release colourful algae and they turn white. Now this is sort of a natural thing that happens occasionally. But if this happens too often, the coral can't recover. We say it will be bleached, it will turn white, it will die. If the coral dies, the millions of different species that live around the coral will have no place to go. This incredibly beautiful environment will disappear forever. What can we do? Well, it's a very, very sad situation. Can we save Oceania? We have to be determined and make real changes to our lives. Oceania is so different from any other continent. I think we should try and save it. Wow, well, that really was a busy week. Review weeks are usually busy, but that really was a lot today. Oh dear, I think she needs to go and have a lie down. I think I'm going to have a nice sit down. So guys, you do the same, have a rest, and we will see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching our video today. Please don't forget, subscribe, and that will help us to make lots more videos for you. Thank you. Bye.